Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 Service Learning Program. My name is Marty Bach. I am one of the coordinators of the Service Learning Program. You will be hearing from all four of us in this video that we recorded separately for, well, obvious reasons. So first off, I'd like to just introduce myself. Again, my name is Marty Bach. I've been teaching at Hudson High School since the class of 2002. I originally was hired into the service learning program, took a short hiatus from it during the birth of my two kids, and then came back in. So I've been teaching here at Hudson High School quite a while and have been involved in the service learning program for a very long time. I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. I went to Brother Rice High School on the south side, which is an all-boys Catholic high school. From there, I went to Northwestern University, where I graduated in 1999 with an undergraduate degree in history with departmental honors, and then in 2000 with a master's degree from Northwestern as well. But most importantly, there I met my wife, who happened to be from a town called Shaker Heights. So when she had a good offer for law school, we decided to move back to her hometown in the Cleveland area. So that's what brought me to Hudson and Northeast Ohio. I live in Shaker Heights with my wife. We have two boys, Xander and William. I am very excited for this year. A lot of work and effort went into getting this year started on multiple levels by multiple people. And I'm very, very proud and happy of where we're going to be able to go with your students. I think it's going to be a very fulfilling and memorable and joyous year ahead. So the two areas that I'm going to cover, and then we'll go on to our other teachers who will introduce themselves as well, is I'm going to cover the methodology of the course and also the challenges ahead. So service learning itself is a methodology that promotes greater citizenship, empathy, and character development, specifically by doing service with others. Service learning really started in the 1990s at the college level with your Ivy League schools of Harvard, Yale, developing it as a way to teach concepts hands-on that would end with a product that would also be of service to others. It's since trickled down from that level down to the lower grades. The service learning program at Hudson High School was established in 1998. So this is going to be our 23rd year. And over those 23 years, we have grown from one section of 28 students in 1998 to our current 3 sections now. So we're very proud of all of the growth and evolution that we have done over these 23 years. With the year ahead, we are trying to provide our students with an authentic and rewarding experience, the authentic service learning experience that they would get working with others, while of course also balancing safety and following the recommended guidelines regarding the COVID pandemic. So in regards to the challenges that we see ahead, as you can imagine, this summer led to many challenges for a program that traditionally has 90 students volunteering in the community, which our community would be all of Summit County, about half of Portage, and some of Cuyahoga County, remotely and directly hands-on. The coronavirus, of course, threw a gigantic monkey wrench into what we have traditionally done. But regardless, we have met, we have talked, we have troubleshooted things, and we have come up with solutions that we believe will work and create that balance I just talked about. We have worked very hard to find a balance between helping the sites we've worked with for years and providing in-person service while also offering remote opportunities or virtual opportunities to those students who feel more comfortable in those environments, and also would allow us to shift, if the need be in the future, to shift to a more virtual or remote service experience. We unfortunately have lost a number of our site placements who just could not operate in this environment. We went through a list of them. There are literally 20 of them. Not to list them all, but to give you an example, Summit County Valor Home, Salvation Army in Akron, Happy Trails Farm, and our Head Starts through Portage County. And as you can imagine, many of our elderly placements have all been lost. But we have been able to come up with new placements, many within our Hudson schools, which makes this much easier to transition to and accommodate the students that we have with us this year. I also want to remind you that in regards to any placements that might be high risk, for example, things you might see students placed at hospice sites or retirement homes, they are going to be working remotely or in an office environment. None of them have been approved to have patient contact. And if that comes in the future, we of course will vet that with the student and their parent, as we have done already via surveys, to make sure that you are okay with that. So that's some of the challenges that we have ahead. And I would like to now turn it over to one of my good friends, Jamie Cosman, to cover the next part.
Hello, welcome to Hudson High School Service Learning class. My name is Jamie Cosman, and most of the time your children are going to see me looking a little bit more like this. So it is nice to be able to record this without a mask, and you'll actually be able to see me twice, because I will be also doing a video for the Service Learning English component. I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. I have been teaching at Hudson High School. This will be my 21st year, which does not feel nearly like I've been that long, but I have, and here we are. This is my 6th year with the Service Learning program, and it is awesome. It is quite honestly just very, very awesome, and I hope that you'll agree with that. We've done a lot of work this summer to try and maintain what service learning is, and try and maintain the core of what service learning is, the value of that. And so hopefully we can have an awesome year again, even with the circumstances that we're under. Just wanted to let you know I am an English teacher as well, as a service learning teacher, and the other course I teach is the horror genre. I've taught many other courses as well, but that's the course I'm currently teaching along with Service Learning English. We worked really hard to make sure there are enough placements for all of our students, and we lucked out because a lot of our sites came through for us. I believe Mr. Bach is going to talk about the different sites that we lost, but we did lose a significant number of sites because of COVID, because they were in person, or because of the risk involved, or because they're still working remotely. We worked really hard. We gained a lot of new sites. We have a lot more people in Hudson City schools, which is awesome. So there is going to still be a lot of service opportunity. There's still a lot of service that needs to be done, and we're really excited about that. When your child ended up filling out their application for service learning, we asked them to rank initially the different areas that they would have preference for. Unfortunately, with all that's going on, we lost a lot of those opportunities. And so as the field narrowed, we actually surveyed your kids again and again. Actually 3 times over the summer we surveyed them, just so you're aware. And also, and I hope this isn't the first time you're hearing this, we asked them to verify with you each time that they were still okay with doing service, that you're still okay with them doing service, and that kind of thing. And so when we put together our site placement list, we took all of this into mind, and kept all of that in mind as we were placing each person. We also wanted to let you know that all sites are going to be having the typical protocols. So they're all going to be wearing masks. They're all going to be social distancing. Regardless of where they are, they will have those same safety precautions in place for them. And so just hopefully that adds some peace of mind to you, for that as well. And actually, those safety precautions are one of the reasons usually we would have probably about a quarter of our sites would be with nursing homes or with hospice patients. And right now, we only have a few of those placements, but all of the placements that we do have with the elderly are remote, 100% remote, for those very reasons that we were talking about, because safety is so, so important now. And just so you know, you can expect your child to actually be at the same site for the entire semester. That includes if, for instance, they're volunteering at a school that does go remote, they would still be serving and volunteering with their teacher in that manner, just as an example. And so, we are hoping, very much hoping that your child is able to actually work with the same person for the entire semester. Traditionally, we would switch then sites at the semester. Um, Unfortunately, that is way too far down the road for us to really promise right now, but that is our intention. On service days, we do need to ask for your help. We're hoping that you will help remind your child to take their temperature. Of course, it's important when they're coming into school, but some of them are going to sites, for instance, some of our food pantries, where they do actually have some elderly people back who are actually volunteering again. And so they will be safely distanced, but it is even a little bit extra important to make sure you follow those COVID precautions, the taking the temperature and just checking the symptoms. And if there's any doubt, if there's any question at all, please just stay home that day. And just so you're aware, our schedule is kind of wonky. It takes a little getting used to. And so this year, especially with our schedule being even more different than usual, this year, as long as we're in the hybrid schedule, uh, the student volunteers will be able to volunteer on Mondays and Thursdays. So instead of coming to English class with me or to contemporary issues class with Mr. Bach or with Ms. Amier, they will be actually able to serve on Mondays and Thursdays. There are a few sites that do have where they will only be serving on Monday or Thursday, and we will have additional opportunities for those people who may want different or additional service opportunities as well. So keep that in mind. In terms of their content or in terms of their class time, they'll be with me for English or Mrs. Vonville for English, and they'll be with us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so they'll be and we'll actually split the period with Mr. Bach and with Mrs. Amier. So they'll have about 45 minutes for each class. The other thing that I think is really cool and really unique to service learning is because we're switching like that. The way we've arranged it is we'll actually be working one-on-one with just the remote students. So for me, when I'm teaching English, the first half of the class, Mrs. Amier will actually be working with the half who are remote on the contemporary issues directly. And then I will be teaching the remote kids for the second half of the class, the English half, the English part. Mrs. Amier will then come in person with the students who are here. We decided to make this switch because we think it is much more worthwhile for our students since we have the ability to, much more worthwhile for the students to be able to be actively engaged with one teacher who's directly there and able to engage that half of the class directly. So we do have a 5-hour per week service requirement. That does include drive time, although for a lot of people that won't really be an issue because they'll be so local. But it is 5 hours per week. The service actual time, if your student volunteer has a morning class, then they would be able to serve on Mondays and Thursdays, second period and 4-5. So they wouldn't actually have to come to the school until their 1:30 class in the afternoon. And if they're an afternoon student, then they actually would come here for second period and they'd be able to leave at about 11:15 and then head to their site and serve through the end of the day. And so that's an awesome opportunity, and it provides them with a tremendous amount of time to really get a lot of service done. And so we're really looking forward to adding a lot of hours. In prior years, we have been able to actually have 20,000 hours of service amongst all of our students. So we're hoping to reach that once again this year. I know Mr. Bach and Mrs. Amier and Mrs. Vonville have their own pieces and parts. The reason we decided to do this together is because you are going to, your children are going to get to know all four of us. throughout the year. And so we thought it would be good for you to get a little bit of a glimpse of who the four of us are as well. If you ever have any questions, please reach out to any of the four of us or all four of us together. We look forward to hearing from you, and just as importantly, or probably more importantly, we look forward to getting to know your kids and helping them become the best community servants they can possibly be. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Brittany Amier. I am one of your student service learning teachers. I have been teaching service learning for about 5 years now, and it looks a little bit different, but the core of this class is definitely going to be the same. Just a little bit about myself. I love history. I am one of the history teachers of the service learning group. I teach with Mr. Bach, but my partner is Mr. David Cosman. He is the English component to my history, to my contemporary issues class. And if you're interested in the contemporary issues video, that is on my website. I did link it in the open house video that I made. So I'll be talking about transportation and the 4-5 seminar that your students will be taking. We're going to start with transportation because it's the easiest. We are not able to allow the students to carpool this year, or at least this first semester, because of all the precautions that have been put in place. So we did take that into account when we were placing students. If your student does not have access to a car or is not able to drive, they will be either virtual or in person at a Hudson City School site. This will allow them to get to their site on time, and it will reduce the need, or will remove the need for them to have a car. So that's easy. That's transportation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us about that. And then the other thing I'm going to be talking about is the 4-5 seminar. Traditionally for 4-5 seminar, this is meant to be the chance for the students to put into practice what they're learning at their sites. We normally bring in speakers, we explore current event topics that they're experiencing at sites, and we do whole class activities. Normally these whole class activities take the form of philanthropy or some other type of fundraising organization. We're still going to try to do as much of that as we can, but because we only have them on Fridays, that's going to change up the way that we run 4-5 a little bit. We're still going to make sure that we pay attention to those site experiences. They will be sharing their site experiences every Friday just to make sure that we stay on top of how they're doing, that we make sure that they're able to share those positive experiences that they're having, and also share any potential problems that they might be having. And we try to talk about it as a group and see what solutions we can find. We're also going to be doing some mindfulness activities like meditation. These are things that used to be done in the class in the English class specifically, and we're going to move them out to 4-5 because we recognize the importance of having those mindfulness times now with everything weird that's going on. We are also looking into speakers. We can't guarantee that we're going to have them, but we're looking into that possibility, and we're going to make sure that we're still exploring those current event topics that the students have. Students will be taking, or this class will have a journal component. And what this journal does is it allows them to not only reflect on their experiences at site, but it also gives them a chance to communicate to us any issues they might be having, any positives they might be having that maybe they don't want to share in class for whatever reason. That could be anything that they come up with, but it's meant to give them a chance to share confidentially if they need to, and then we can solve it that way. So we encourage our students to be honest and to be open in those journals. They're only read by the teachers. They are not shared with any other students or any other faculty. They're only shared between the four of us. And so we want them to be honest and to reflect on what they're learning at their site. These journals also give us a chance to look at their hours. The students are required 5 hours a week. That does include drive time. So if you have a student that you noticed is going down to Akron for a site, that 30-minute drive both ways is included in their 5 required hours. So they're not going to be required to do 5 hours on top of the hour that it will take them to drive. Now they can if they want. We do not discourage doing more than 5 hours, and usually we actually do the students do more than 5 hours. But we are asking that they do at least 4 hours plus their hour-long drive time. And so these journals will give us a chance to record those hours for them. They will have a running total of these hours in a Google spreadsheet that the students have access to. So if they do have any questions about hours, if they feel that we missed hours, if they missed a journal, anything like that, they can check that spreadsheet, and that will give them some of the information that they need. And if they still can't find it, they can come talk to any one of the four of us, or all four of us if they really want. The 4-5 seminar is usually the seminar that the students enjoy. They love, being in that big group. It's meant to kind of make that cohesion, and we're going to try and keep that as consistent as possible. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Gina Vonville, and I've been teaching at the Hudson City Schools at the high school for 22 years. This is my second year teaching service learning. Just a little bit more about me. I went to The Ohio State University and got my undergraduate degree there, as well as my graduate degree in education. I live in Hudson with my husband and my 3 children. My oldest, Michael, graduated last year from Hudson High School, and he currently attends The Ohio State University in Columbus, at least for the time being. My daughter Caroline is a junior here at the high school, and my daughter Natalie is an 8th grader at the new middle school. I love the experience that I have had over the course of the last year teaching service learning. I absolutely love teaching English. Teaching reading and writing are passions for me. Working with your children are a passion of mine, and I've so missed having that experience over the course of the last month. In addition to my work with service learning, I also run the Model United Nations Club with Jay Hill. I run the Key Club, and I've been presiding over the Writing Club for the last 5 or 6 years. I just want to touch on a few issues that we have in service learning. The first one that I wanted to talk about was, how do we keep in touch with site supervisors? How do we monitor your children's experience at site, even though we're not there on a daily basis? And what I want you guys to know is that we actually are in direct communication with site supervisors on a regular basis. We're in direct communication with your children on a regular basis. And in addition to that, we do spot visits at all of our sites. This year, because our service learning calendar has changed a little bit, it's actually opened us up to perhaps having the experience of being able to lead projects with kids who have extra time or serve alongside our students. So that'd be a really great experience for us, because oftentimes during a normal year, we just have the opportunity to check in. But this year, it'll be great to work one-on-one with students at sites that we love and we've come to know over the course of time. In addition to discussing the site and our relationship with sites, I wanted to talk a little bit about the class fee structure. Typically, we have a fee of around $450. At this point, we've waived that fee due to the fact that there are no field trips. So we can't, at this time, we can't schedule our fall Ledgewood service trip, and we haven't been able to officially schedule our ASP trip in the spring. However, know that we are closely monitoring everything that's happening in terms of COVID, and if there is any chance that we will be able to safely accommodate those trips in full, or if we'll be able to do a version of those trips, we will reserve the right to reinstate that fee later on through the school year and give you details about what those trips will look like. Please know that if you have any fears about your son or daughter attending those trips, or you don't want them to miss the school time because the calendar is so different this year, we understand that completely, and we'll make any allowances that we need to at that time, should that become an issue. Lastly, I just want to say we really appreciate your flexibility. Those of you who have had children in this program before clearly know that this year has been a little bit different. Paperwork deadlines, site supervisor notification, so many things have been different this year because, quite honestly, we haven't always had answers. We've been waiting on information before we can go ahead and plan things. Or we have planned things 3 or 4 times over. So please know that we appreciate all of your support. We are doing our very best to make sure that this year gives your child an opportunity to experience as much of service learning as they possibly can, despite all of the other factors that we're dealing with. And please know, we have been actively working all summer long on this course. We will continue to work on this course. And we will continue to put your children's experience and needs at the forefront of every decision we make, along with their safety. We know that one-on-one serving brings with it a great deal of positive experiences, but also a little bit of risk, and we are working as hard as we can to mitigate those risks. I know that I moved here 14 years ago because I was so impressed with the experience that I saw kids having in the Hudson City School District. And I continue to be a part of this district because I believe in their mission. I know that they're doing their very best to give your son and your daughter the best possible educational experience in light of all of the challenges that we're currently facing. So again, thank you for your support. Please contact us at any time. And we're so excited to be back. And we hope that it lasts for as long as it possibly can. Thank you.